people knew I was raised in a haunted house. The home that I grew up in was over 100 years old, as were most of the homes on the street. Anyone in my family of 6 can tell you a haunted ghost story that happened to them personally. We lived in that house for 30 years. The ghosts seem to have a fondness for me. I have the best ghost stories. My niece Annetta, who you've met, she was 2. She was 2. She was still in diapers, and she wore those little, back in the day, babies wore white shoes. The little white hard shoes to learn to walk. So I'm up on the second floor. The second floor of that house had, I can only describe it, I don't know what it's called, but there's a room right here, my parents' room, and you go down the hall, bathroom right here, you go down the hall a little bit further, and at the end of the hall, there's 2 rooms right together that are connected by a door. 2 doors, and inside the room there's a door that connects the 2. I'm in the bathroom curling my hair. For some reason, I spent a lot of time in my parents' house, even though I didn't live there. But my sister and Sonetta were there at the time, and they had a room. So the 2 rooms at the end of the hallway, at the top of the stairs, in the hallway, those 2 rooms, one was a family room, one was my sister's room, and they were connected by a door in the middle. So I'm in the bathroom, curling my hair, and then Sonetta comes out with her 2-year-old self in her diaper and white shoes and a purple lavender shirt. I will never forget that. And she comes down, she's just stumping, she's mumbling something. She stumped down 2 steps, and then she turned around and she yelled at the room, "That's my mama's room!" And the door slammed. The door slammed closed. And she just looked indignant as she went on down the steps. I'm like, oh. I'm thinking my brother Michael must have been in there. Because, I just did. Not only a few people in the house. But the door definitely slammed. She looked at it and went downstairs. And I kept curling my hair. And then I hear when she got downstairs, she's talking to her grandmother. She says, "Grandma, that man won't get out of my mama's room." So still curling out her hair, I'm like, what did she say? So I look out the door toward the 2 rooms at the end. One door is open, and the door that I heard slammed is definitely closed. So I walk down and walk around. I go into the open door. Nobody in this room. Nobody in that room. And I came back out, went over, unplugged the curling irons, and went on downstairs because there was nobody on that floor. And that door definitely slammed. And she yelled at somebody, and the door slammed. And she went downstairs and told her grandma about the man in the room that wouldn't get out. I don't know if she remembers it or not, but I will never forget it. So, this is 3 of several. Those are some of my stories. But you ask anybody in my family, they have ghost stories that have stuff that happened to them. So I'll tell you the one about the storm. That day, the biggest storm I've ever seen came through St. Louis. It was literally pitch black and wind blowing and rain slanted and all that. My parents, like I said, all of us had moved out. But I still had a key to the house. This day I'd gone to work and my iron was not working, so I got to work and I'm all wrinkly, tinkly, wrinkled. So at lunchtime, I decided I was going to go to my parents and use their iron and get these wrinkles out of my shirt. They were not home. So I went on inside anyway. And the outside was literally dark. It looked like it was night, but it was the middle of the day. And the storm was raging, just like a scary haunted house movie. But I wasn't scared of the house because I had grown up there. I hadn't been there in a while, but I still wasn't afraid of the ghosts. So I went in, gonna iron my shirt, get the heck out of there. So I go upstairs, I put the ironing board out, I got my shirt out, I'm ironing, turn on the TV. And I'm ironing, and the TV turned off. I'm like, okay. And then I remember my mom said the TV had been going on and off for a while now. I think it's a shortage in it. I'm like, okay. So I turned the TV back on, continue my ironing. Storms outside raging, winds blowing, pitch black. It sounded really scary. It kind of started to get scary. And the TV turned off again. I'm like, okay. So I iron. Turned TV back on because I didn't like the quiet. I didn't like listening to the storms. So I turned TV back on. And it turned off one more time. And I left it off this time because I'm like, it's got to shorten. It's not going to stay on. So I just ironed my clothes in the silence or the storm noise. Just ironing my clothes in the darkness of the house with the storm going. And while I'm ironing, when I finally got into a groove, all of a sudden I heard this piercing scream. The TV came on. It had turned on right in the middle of a horror movie commercial. Right at the scream. Needless to say, it scared the bejesus out of me. I couldn't get my clothes on fast enough and get out the house. I ran out of the house, no umbrella, shirt half on, closed the door. My mom thought that was the funniest thing. I just ran into the storm, dripping wet. When I got back to work, my coworker was like, what happened? What happened? Because I looked a hot mess. It's nothing. I said, I don't know why the stupid ghosts like messing with me, but they do.